right. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, sir.
Am I
Good evening,
audible?
sir.
Good
Am I
evening,
audible?
sir.
Yes, yes.
Audible.
Okay. So it's wonderful seeing all of you once again after a very long time. But it's really, really great listening to some of you at least now. And I'm sure I'll be listening to all of you in due course of time. Excellent. I think, yeah, for each day of the conference, you can invite different members of the faculty, different experts. That's a wonderful idea. I really appreciate this endeavor, your academic venture. It's not actually, it's not a small thing. It's a giant step that you have taken. I don't know whether it is Mithun's initiative as an individual or it's a group initiative. But I really, really congratulate all of you for organizing such a follow-up, yeah, such a follow-up activity. This is a very meaningful professional development activity. It doesn't really happen very often. I've not been part of any such follow-up sessions as far as I remember. And as Kamaluddin has said, COVID impact has necessitated all of us to meet online, and this is one of the great advantages of technology. And we are from different places, far away from each other physically, but then we are able to join, connect together, and share our experiences. So that is where technology has come as a blessing. But there is also a danger of artificial intelligence and all that. Only yesterday I was talking about the influence of uh, AI, especially Chat GPT. How what's going to happen? I mean, it's a scary kind of scenario. Future may be scary. We don't know the power of artificial intelligence. It can not only write codes, it seems, it can also run the codes. AI robots, I mean, they can. So far, we have been hearing that they can develop codes, they can write codes, but in future they'll be able to run the codes on your computer, laptops. That is, I think, a really dangerous situation. All right, so I'm really glad that some 22 of you have come together, have planned a program like this. It's very important because we train numbers of teachers, nearly thousands, I mean, nearly 1,600, teachers in a year. And 50% of them come from different states. Around 500, 600 teachers belong to different South Indian states. So it's important to come back, revisit our experiences, reflect on what we have learned and how we can take our learning forward, influence our classroom practices, and ultimately help children in improving their learning. I'm glad to be part of today's event, and I'm proud and I deem it a privilege to inaugurate day one of this conference. So that is my formal inaugural words. So with these words, I declare that the conference is inaugurated. I yeah. So I'll begin with um, a few slides. Maybe begin with a video. It's audible, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yes, sir.
oh,
Yes,
Hi,
sir.
my name is Ajmal. I'm coming from MMUP School in New Mahi, which is situated in Talasheri sub-district in Kannur district of Kerala. I have come for this CLT, 30-day CLT program in RIESI Bangalore. So it was really a wonderful experience for me. So it was such an honor and privilege for me to be part of this course because the kind of knowledge in terms of grammar, phonetics, and new techniques in English language teaching and the methods, and also I have got a lot of information about the teacher professional development as well. And library, we had a very good library over here, very vast library to be honest. And language lab, that was one of the key element of this campus actually. So we got an opportunity to improve our phonetics, then the prepositions, and I mean the pronunciations and the intonations, to improve our intonations and pronunciation. It has helped us a lot. So it was really a wonderful experience, and more than that, we have got a very good faculty over here, starting from the academic head Ravi Naran sir to everyone. So I don't want to mention their names, So it was really wonderful to be a part of their team. Actually, to be mentored by them was really grateful to them, and the kind of friends we have got from here. The living apart all the professional aspects. Personally, actually, when I'm leaving now, see, this is our farewell time, and I'm going to leave this all this place and my friends, my teachers, everyone. So along with all the great satisfaction and happiness, a little bit sadness is over there because I'm going to leave this place. All the kind of friends and their experiences, their stories, their motivation. You know, uh, not from the books, but from the people over here, we have learned a lot, and it has helped us to become a better teacher and a better human being. Thank you, RAC.
All right. Yes. So you remember that day when you all, I mean, bid farewell to us, said goodbye to all of us, the last day of the training. Are you able to recall?
Yes, of course,
Yeah.
sir. I
All
remember.
right. Yes. So this is what happens on the last day of every 30-day CLT. Actually, it's a long-term training program. All other programs are short-term, 5 days, 10 days, or 15 days duration. This 30-day training has had tremendous impact on teachers, and they don't want to leave campus because they have built a strong community of like-minded people, right? So they say all good things about the institute, about the faculty members, about the training program. Well, it's all positive. They say we learned a lot. It has transformed our professional lives. We are very confident to speak in English now, right? We have gained proficiency in English. This is what teachers say after the training program. But we really don't know the unfortunate part is that we don't know what really happens after the training program, right? So, what is the real impact of this in-service professional development program on you as a teacher, on your professional life, on your personal life? How you are getting benefited by this huge investment made by the government, by you, by us, right? So we are not able to assess the impact. We are not able to do any follow-up. That's where this programs like this, follow-up activities like this gain significance. That's why I should appreciate all of you for joining and for meeting online and for willing to share your experiences. So I'm really happy that you've come forward uh, to share your wonderful professional experiences. Right. Now let me share some of my slides. Okay. So some of these teachers, can you see the slide? All of you, can you see?
Yes, sir.
You can see, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Thank you.
yes, sir.
Yeah. So some of these teachers earlier in the past years, actually, they were part of after 1 month training, they were part of some other projects, some other departmental activities. One such project was a classroom research project. Some 10 to 15 teachers were part of this research project. So they had to do a lot of work as part of this research activity. They had to design posters, they had to share their classroom audios, videos, create pages on Padlet. It was really hard work for about 3 months, apart from doing research in the classroom. So at the end of this project, they shared their success stories and they also had some suggestions to other teachers. So that's what I'm going to share now. I just wanted to know, say out of 60 teachers, for example, only around 12 to 15 teachers were interested in being part of this research project. And then I wanted to know what made them join the project, what motivated them, how they were able to complete the project successfully. I call these teachers champion teachers, innovative teachers. And this conference is also about classroom innovations, right? So these 15 teachers, they've innovated in their classroom, they've experimented many things in their classrooms, and they were willing to share their success stories in conferences like this, online seminars, conferences. And I really wanted to know uh, what made them do all this? What made them innovate? What made them do experiments in their classrooms? And how is it that they were successful in doing all this? And why is it that a few teachers are not interested in being part of such projects, such activities? So I wanted to know what made uh, their work successful. And then I particularly wanted to know how they, because many a time teachers say finding time is a real problem. They say, sir, we don't really have time to do anything different, anything beyond the syllabus, beyond the textbooks. So time seems to be the biggest enemy for many teachers. So I wanted to know how these small group of teachers were able to manage their time. So this is what they said. One particular teacher said, I managed to balance my school work, research work, and preparation for the event quite well. I tried to finish off my school work from the school itself. So school work in the school, right? I completed all my research work from home, typing the report, making the poster, etc. I even read the books on the topic and on mentoring teachers from home. I devoted most of my time at home doing various activities for the research, right? And then another teacher said, I believe if we are interested in doing something extraordinary, we will balance and manage our time productively. See, if you're interested in doing something different, something extraordinary, we will balance and manage our time productively. I think each and every word is important. That is, see, interested, something extraordinary, balancing time, and then doing productively, right? These are the key words. And another teacher said she or he allotted time schedule for his or her work even after the class hours. I suggest each and every teacher to love their work so that they can make time on their own, right? Nobody will give you time. We have to make time and we'll have to prioritize. So this particular teacher said, if we love our work, then we can find time. And then the fourth teacher said, my suggestions for other teachers are do it with interest and have your own imagination power to plan something new. So do it with interest, involve yourself and have your own imagination power to plan something new, not just doing anything mechanically, not going by the textbook, not doing what uh, I your higher ups say, not just doing that, but imagining something new, right? So you have to use that imaginative faculty to do something different in the classrooms. Another teacher said, as I was committed to this research, I put all the efforts to complete the task. As teachers, we have to do something best in our class. We should be ready to take risks to bring positive changes in our classrooms. Never give up, keep on trying, because students progress is completely, I mean, there may be a few mistakes here and there, but this I'm just quoting as it is from what teacher said. So never give up, keep on trying, because students progress is completely dependent on the teacher's effort. Every teacher should concentrate on professional development to bring change. So I love this. Every sentence is so meaningful. The teacher says, I put all the efforts to complete the task. And we have to do something best in our class. And we should be ready to take risks to bring positive changes. And this never give up kind of attitude, I like it. All right. And students progress, their learning, their life, in fact, as long as they are with you, it's completely dependent on your effort. So professional development, training programs like this are very important to bring changes in your classrooms. And another teacher said, everything is possible only when we have interest. I suggest all to pay attention to explore, understand, and improve your practice. So explore, find out your classroom problems, issues, challenges, try to understand your students better, and try to bring change, improvement in your own practice. That is called professional learning, teacher learning. This is called teacher learning. Work hard and solve problems easily. Classroom problem. Work hard and solve your classroom problems easily. right? Okay. And then, yes. So if you don't find time, then you will not become an innovative teacher, a champion teacher. See, that's the difference, all right? You will continue to be an average kind of teacher if you just do everything that everybody is expected to do. If you go by the, what is it called? Go by the book, or be a cog in the wheel, right? Be a cog in the wheel is called, right? So, yeah, it's not easy. I understand, but that's what these teachers are saying. It is possible. Everything is possible if we decide to do something. If we uh, love what we do, right? Okay. So we'll think about it now. The next slide. I'll move on to the next slide, and then so there is something called teacher cognition. So it's not just about bringing change and then managing time. That is a I mean, innovation, the concept of innovation, right? Teacher innovation, teacher learning. It is a very complex issue. It's not so easy to put it in black and white and say that because of this, we are not able to do that. All right. There is no one-to-one match uh, between what we say, what we do, what we find, training we conduct, and what teachers do in the classroom. There may not be a one-to-one match. That's because it's a complex thing. There is something called teacher cognition. So teacher cognition means what teachers think and what teachers know, what they believe, and the relationships of these mental constructs to what teachers do in the language teaching classroom. So what you do in your classroom, uh, it is to do with what you think. There is a close relationship between what you think, what you know, what you believe, and then what you practice. Yeah, teachers thinking, their knowledge, their belief system is closely connected with their classroom practices. So this is called teacher cognition. That's your mental life, your mental construct, what is there in your mind, right? So that will influence your classroom practice. So teacher cognition includes these four things. Yeah, what do teachers have cognitions about? So what do you have cognitions about? What do you think about? What do you know about? What do you believe about? Right? What are your beliefs about? So what do teachers have cognitions about? How do these cognitions develop? How do you develop this thinking? How do you develop this knowledge, this belief system? So that is what teacher cognition looks at. What do teachers have cognitions about? How do these cognitions develop? How do they interact with teacher learning? How do teachers learn from their cognitions, from their mental construct, and how do they interact with classroom practice? How do they influence classroom practices, right? So, I mean, this is Simon Bork, an expert in teacher cognition. This is what he says. He has divided teacher cognition into three main themes. One is cognition and prior language learning experience. Second one is cognition in teacher education. Third one is cognition in classroom practice, right? So, teacher cognition, it comes from your prior language learning experiences, your thinking, your beliefs, your knowledge comes from your own language. There are three main themes: cognition. Yeah, I mean, teacher's belief system or your mind. It is influenced by your prior language learning experiences, right? Cognition develops by your own experience as a student, as a child at the primary or high school. Whatever you observe in your classrooms, whatever teachers do, that influences your mind, correct? And second one is cognition teacher education, your teacher training program, like the RIECLT program, how it develops your knowledge system, belief system, right? So teacher training programs also help in developing particular belief system. And then cognition and classroom practice, your own classroom practices, what you do in the classroom is influencing your mental construct. So teacher cognition is related to teacher learning, what you learn, how you develop, and it is also related to your classroom practice. Okay, next. So this is the diagram which illustrates these three themes. So next slide is about this diagram. Okay, if you closely look at this diagram, I hope all of you can see the diagram. So teacher cognition in English language teaching, for example. So four is uh, categorize them into four things. One is schooling, how schooling influences teacher cognition, professional coursework like teacher training programs, pre-service teacher education, in-service teacher education programs, and third one is contextual factors, and fourth one is classroom practice, including your practice teaching. Okay, so schooling, let's look at the first one. Extensive experience of classrooms, which defines early cognitions and shapes teachers' perceptions of initial training. And when we are students, right, we observe our teachers and we learn a lot, and not just language, other things, their instructional strategies, how teachers teach, how we learn, our learning strategies, their teaching strategies. It influences our mind, maybe subconsciously, right? And then all these come out when you start teaching. When you become a teacher, you, your own teacher's influence is visible, right? So if you're used to kind of listening to long lectures, and then maybe you will also believe in giving lectures, right? Okay, we'll illustrate that later. And second one is professional coursework. It may affect existing cognitions, although it's, yeah, like training programs, second one. And then third one is contextual factors, like influence, they influence practice either by modifying cognitions or else directly. Contextual factor, like your classroom setting, uh, colleagues sometimes, parents sometimes, and uh, the infrastructure, resources level, syllabus, textbook, all these influence your belief system. So teacher here beliefs, knowledge, theories, your attitudes, and your assumptions. Okay, students, yes, and then the kind of materials you prepare. Okay, and then classroom practice. Uh, your teacher cognition is defined by the interaction of cognitions and contextual okay, so classroom experience influences your cognitions unconsciously and through conscious reflection. If you reflect on your classroom practices, then that is how you learn, right? So everyday classroom teaching also contributes your learning, your professional development. Right, so let's move on to the, any questions on this slide? Okay, so for example, uh, teachers, yeah, teacher, I mean, first ones, how our teachers influences. Okay, so we learn a lot about teaching through our vast experience as learners. Our prior learning experiences shape our cognitions and instructional decisions. For example, to give my own example, for example, my teacher, high school, for example, my teacher always used to say that direct teaching of grammar is not necessary. Explicit teaching of grammar rules is not necessary. So he never used to teach grammar explicitly, and then he never used to correct our mistakes. He thought if he corrects our mistakes, then we will not speak, will not come forward. All right, so that will hinder our speaking skills. My teacher thought, and I continued that belief, and even today I believe. I mean, today in the sense when I joined teacher training institute, I believe grammar teaching is not necessary. Explicit teaching of rules is not required. Error correction is not necessary. It doesn't really help. That was my belief. But then my own research, my readings, the workshops I attended, and slowly I realized, and somewhere we need to teach grammar, right? Maybe if not at the primary level, at the high school level, it it is important to teach uh, some grammar, at least a few areas in grammar explicitly. Not everything, not parts of speech tenses, but maybe if it, when it comes to active passive voice, reported speech, a few topics in grammar, I started believing that have to be taught directly. Rules are important, right? So that is the influence of my teacher, and then the training programs influenced me, and then that has changed my practice, right? uh, yeah, that is one example. Now what I want you to do is, do you have any such, let's have 5 or 10 minutes of interaction. Can you share your positive and negative experiences as learners, how it is how your teachers instructional strategies influenced you? Do you continue something even today because your teacher did that? All right, something you don't do because your teacher didn't do that. Can you share your positive and negative experiences as learners? So next part, yeah, teacher cognition, teacher education. All right, so uh, okay, so at the start of teacher education programs, students may have inappropriate, unrealistic, or naive understandings of teaching and learning, especially when you join for DA, diploma in education, or BA, bachelor in education, such pre-service teacher education courses, right? When you do your initial teacher training program, then you may have some inappropriate understanding of teaching and learning. And then the courses that you do, professional development courses, formal training programs, and they also shape your mental construct, right? So that's where you learn, right? So that could be again positive, that could be sometimes negative, all right? And then, yeah, so this is how, for example, this is how teacher teachers bring innovations, like, yeah, so what influences your practice is not just one training program that you attend. All right, so innovation doesn't mean as soon as you complete a CLT program you have to go and do something different. You may not be able to do that because of many things. You may not do it, or you will not do it, you cannot do it. All right, so you can use any of these helping verbs. You cannot do because of the circumstances, you may not do because of certain practical difficulties, or because of your confusion sometimes. This is what I learned in my B.Ed, and this is what RIE faculty members are saying. So there is some contradiction, maybe. So you're in a dilemma. So you may not be able to do. You cannot do sometimes, or you will not do. You will not do because maybe you don't believe it. You don't agree with that, right? Or you will do, but it might take some time, some more readings, some more workshops, right? So what you do in the classroom is not a result of just the training programs that you attend, right? That's so it's complex in that sense. What you do in the classroom is influenced by how you are taught, right? And what professional courses you attend, and the contextual factors, your own colleagues, the head teachers and officers who visit your schools, classrooms, right? These are the contextual factors and the school related factors. And then your own practice, right? Your own practice and your reflect your everyday practice. So teachers have a sense of plausibility. This is called sense of plausibility. Dr. N.S. Prabhu's. You know what works, what doesn't work, right? And accordingly, you take wise classroom decisions. These are called pedagogical decisions. So we cannot expect innovation to happen that soon. All right, it's not that easy. Any change, for that matter, it is painful. It takes time, and it depends on a lot of other factors, extrinsic and intrinsic factors. What is crucial is your own motivation level, right? Unless you're intrinsically motivated to do something innovative, then it's difficult to bring any change, right? So, and being a teacher is okay, and this is the next level actually, being a teacher's teacher. So you're all, teachers, but after RI training, what we expect you to do is to work as teacher's teacher. You all should go to the next level, uh, higher level in your professional career, that is being a teacher educator. You should be able to conduct teacher education programs, short term teacher training programs for 3 days. You should be able to conduct workshops for 3 to 5 days. So that is called being a teacher's teacher. Now, how many of you have the confidence to be a teacher's teacher, right? To be a teacher trainer, to be a teacher mentor, for example. You can act as a mentor formally or informally through such online platforms. You can mentor other teachers because there, out there are hundreds of teachers who don't get opportunities to travel to Bangalore, attend training programs, or attend online conferences like this, for example, right? So, can you act as mentors? So, what does that mean? Acting as a teacher's teacher, or acting as a mentor, or a teacher educator? And again, it is not that simple. So, that is called gaining expertise. Gaining expertise as a teacher, gaining expertise as a teacher's teacher. So it has been said that teachers who have been teaching for 20 years may be divided into two categories, right? You've been teaching for 20 years, maybe there are two types of teachers. Those with 20 years experience, 20 years of rich experience, and those with 1 year's experience repeated 20 times. Right? So these are the two categories. One category of teachers who grow every year, who develop, and your classroom practice influences you. You change yourself, change your strategies, change your attitude, thinking. So you grow every day, every year. That is 20 years of very rich experience. And those who don't learn much from their experience, do it mechanically, have to complete the syllabus, prepare them for the exam. That is 1 year experience when you join your school, first year, and then repeating the same thing 20 times, right? So this, so we'll have to actually have, I mean, we should belong to the first category of teachers, where we innovate, experiment uh, based on our reflections, right? So another expert, he observes that teachers do not necessarily learn through experience. Experience alone doesn't teach you anything. That expertise is not acquired. Yeah. So many, yeah, I mean, the second category of teachers, they don't learn much from their experience. They do the same thing repeatedly, right? Whereas expertise is something different. Expertise, you gain expertise if you learn from your experience, right? Expertise you have to acquire, you have to gain. So that expertise is not acquired in an even incremental way, and the teachers are at greater risk of being less effective in later phases of their professional lives. If you're 50 plus, for example, then you're at a greater risk of being less effective in your professional development. All right. It's very difficult to gain expertise after certain years of experience, after certain age. When you're about to retire, for example, then you cannot convert your experience into expertise. So the point is, all of us should be able to convert our experience into expertise. We should become experts in our chosen field. So expertise consists of three elements. One is competence, that is specialist ability and knowledge, your teaching competence, subject matter competence, language competence, and then experience. So you gain expertise by acquiring competence. Acquiring experience is also important. A novice teacher, a newly appointed teacher, cannot gain expertise. You need at least 5, 6 years of teaching experience. So experience is important, but experience should develop competence in you, and you should also get social recognition. That's important. Your identity will change, and you will get social recognition as an individual who possesses expertise. Maybe you'll become a textbook writer, you'll become a mentor for your teachers, you'll become a teacher trainer for your blog, for your district, right? You'll be involved in the preparation of handbooks. Your identity, uh, you're able to establish your identity. That is when you gain social recognition. So that is called expertise, right? Okay. So to be a teacher's teacher, being an excellent teacher is necessary, but that is not sufficient for becoming a teacher trainer. Being an excellent teacher is not sufficient to be a teacher educator, to be a mentor. Teacher educators need different expertise. They need to acquire new knowledge and skills to teach teachers. All right. Just by getting a certificate, you'll not become a teacher educator. Just by, I mean, getting a degree, for example, you'll not become, by getting an MA in English or MEd in teacher education, you'll not become a teacher trainer. Teacher educators need different expertise. You need to acquire new knowledge, new skills to teach teachers. All right, that's called trainer development, right? So there is new content, there's a shift in your role, you have to work differently, you'll have to change your perspective, and you have to gain a new professional identity, right? So it's not easy to become a teacher's teacher. You need to acquire a different skill set, a different domain of knowledge. Like if you want to become, for example, faculty at RIE, a teacher educator, like me, for example, I mean, it requires experience. You need to be an excellent teacher, but that alone will not guarantee that you'll be an expert teacher educator. That is a different uh, game, right? Okay, so lots of things related to this, but I think you may not be much interested in becoming a teacher and gaining a new role at this point. So let's stop for some time and then think a little bit and then see what else you've got today, right? Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that one is gaining expertise as a teacher, and then all of you should try to gain expertise in teacher education. We will be extremely happy if you're able to play the role of teacher mentors, teacher educators, teacher trainers, and an expert in your field, not just in the field of teaching, but also in the field of teacher education, teacher training. For that, you have to acquire, maybe you can acquire degrees, you can attend more training programs. Formal degrees will help you. Informal discussions like this, informal networks, teacher groups will also help you in gaining professional expertise. That's it. I'll stop here. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you for joining.